Frost is my name.
It's you for me. It's you for me. It's you for me. It's you for me.
Frost is my name.
It's you for
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines. Here we have our city that we worked on last time in episode 1. Got our neighborhoods here that turned out really nice, very typical. We put in our little shopping area, we've got our Jack in the Box, Del Taco, Taco Bell, all your basic fast food chains right here in the corner. It's looking good so far. We've got our little strip mall here, pretty casual, pretty normal. Over here we got our Walmart that we redid. Turned out pretty good too, I think. And then we have our little apartment complexes over here that we put together that turned out pretty cool. I'm still a big fan of these. I don't know why, but I love the way this little corner looks with these two different apartment complexes. And then our neighborhoods with the cul-de-sacs we put in. Oh, right. I built this new apartment complex here. I was going to put it in this episode, but for some reason my recording software wasn't working, so my screen didn't actually capture the footage. So I had to get some new screen capturing software. So unfortunately you guys didn't get to see me build this apartment complex. But that and this little church here that I also built during that recording session. Just put a little parking lot in for it. It wasn't too detailed. And then over here is what I started also last night. It's the hospital here. I have it angled on the corner, just like it is in real life, and, just doing hospital things. Sims like that, I guess. Like being healthy. And I put some little shops over there. I put this little apartment complex here, too. It's actually across from the hospital in real life like that, so I thought it was a nice touch and true to life. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I've done since the last episode, so without further ado, let's get into episode 2 of Palmcaster and Cities Skylines. So I'm going to start off here. Oh yeah, they need a fire station. A little fire had broken out apparently, so I just plopped that there. Keep them happy so the buildings don't burn down again. Because I don't really like building things and having them just immediately burn down, because it kind of defeats the purpose, you know. And then once I had that placed, I decided that I wanted to kind of fix up the corner that had been burned down originally. You can still see the little burn mark there from where the ground was burned. And the hospital in real life here has a bunch of smaller medical buildings and offices all around the main hospital building itself, which is angled in the corner like that. So I was trying to get different buildings in here that matched how they look in the real deal, but I couldn't really. I was having a hard time finding one that looked right. I played with this DMV building, but the giant blue DMV letters on the front of it just didn't work for me. It looked too much obviously like the DMV, so I wasn't digging that. And then I put this building in and it worked perfectly. That's exactly how it should look, really. But it turns out that's a police station, and that giant police badge on the front didn't mesh with the whole hospital vibe. So I ended up having to get rid of both those buildings and trying something else. So I was just kind of looking through here, trying to see what would work. playing with more police stations, maybe trying to find one that looked, you know, a little better, more appropriate. And so that one worked out pretty well. It looks pretty medical looking, so I kept it there, I think. Then I placed this building here, this police station, but I didn't like that either. I eventually placed that medical building there, and it fit pretty well, good enough. But the problem was now I had two of the same building kind of next to each other, and I didn't know what to do about that. So I figured that would have to be remedied. Just kind of playing here, seeing what building might look right there. Not really sure what to put. So I deleted this building to not have a duplicate next to it. Eventually I found this building here, which looked almost perfect. It looked exactly like how this kind of little area looks in real life. There's a building that looks very similar to that actually in that exact location, so it worked out great. Same with those industrial tanks there. I didn't just put those next to the hospital like that. Those are actually there in real life. Kind of in the alley next to the hospital. So here I'm putting some Canary Island date palms, and but I realized when I placed that one Canary Island, I noticed when I placed that one palm, however, that it was burnt and destroyed, and that didn't look too good. I was trying to figure out how to deal with that, but in the meantime I figured I'd place the rest of these palms in the front row here. When you drive to the hospital here in Lancaster, that's actually, there's like a row of palm trees that are kind of just lining the entrance there. And so I wanted to get that looking right. And I'm placing bigger ones to the side because they're a little too big for what I wanted here. So I had to, they're cycled through, so they're randomly kind of generated. So I had to cycle through the ones I didn't want to eventually get to the ones I did, which are these smaller sized ones. It wasn't too much of a hassle, but kind of an annoyance trying to, you know, get them to work with me here. I deleted the bigger ones I placed. I'll just place that there. Looks pretty nice. Yeah, I like how that looks. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that ground. I don't know how long that's going to be burnt like that. Hopefully not too long. I'd like my ground there not to be all charred looking. Doesn't look too great. Then I realized this building here had a giant police badge over it. And given that there's a police station literally right next to it, I couldn't figure out what was going on. That shouldn't be happening. They should have definitely dealt with that by now. So I tried to figure it out, and I realized they probably weren't connected to the road. So here I'm trying to fix the road around it so they actually can get to them. But first I decided to put a little parking lot in. Making sure there's handicap parking because, you know, it's a hospital. It's pretty important to have that, I feel, especially there. see, there all the police go. They're definitely driving all around the area, but they're not getting to that building. It's really bothering me. Leave the road here. Maybe try replacing it. See what happens. That might work. Now there's garbage piling up. Great. Just lovely. You guys have trashed the hospital already. You little periphery building just sitting out there on the sidelines on the edge of the hospital. You've already ruined it. Ruining everything. Okay. Try and fix you. I think we did it. Someone come and get the trash, please. Do it, please. Whatever. We'll deal with that later. Placing some cracks and wear on the parking and sidewalk there, so it looks more real, more believable. That place, this little dirt parking lot in the back here. Just, you know, there's not enough spaces or something. I figured people probably park back there along the side of the place. And then a lot of times here, you'll see that people will create little trails and paths through fields like this to the roads. Because a lot of the roads don't connect, or there's big empty fields between two different roads. And so eventually over time, just, you know, little dirt roads get created over time. So I decided to add one of those in here like there is in real life. And it's pretty cool. I liked it. Decided to place a little car there because, you know, it's a little parking lot in the back. I looked on Google Images and there's actually cars parked back there. So this is actually pretty accurate, apparently. Like I said, I didn't want to be too, you know, focused on like making it exact, but at the same time, it's kind of cool to recreate things in real life also. So for this little apartment complex, I tried to make it, you know, it's not actually designed exactly like this, but the buildings look pretty similar, and so does the outside design. Not necessarily the internal design, like that inside street. But this whole outside area looks a lot like this, and it's kind of cool to do that occasionally in the game, where I'll just be like, I'll literally go on Google Maps or Google Images and just kind of, I'll have my iPad out in front of me and I'll look at the image on Google Images and try to just make it look as close to that as possible sometimes. Not for all the buildings, but for some of them, because it just gives it kind of a cool feel being able to look in the game and being like, whoa, that looks a lot like the real deal. Yeah, it's kind of trippy. And it's fun to do, and it's kind of a neat challenge occasionally to try and see how close you can get, you know, to the real life building. And other times it's absolutely a horrendous annoyance and I won't do it at all. So half the city is a mix of actual places and kind of me freestyling it, because it's fun to place in the real buildings, and other times you get completely tired of it. Don't get me wrong, when I say freestyling, I don't mean I'm just kind of putting whatever the hell I want wherever I want. Nah, I'm still keeping it true to life in that sense, where it looks at least like the real neighborhood or area would, but I'm not following the actual design or pattern of the buildings or streets or anything. I'm just kind of laying them in there how I want. And I'll still make sure it turns out nice looking. I'm not just gonna throw in, you know, some generic crappy neighborhoods and call it a day. It's just not how I play the game. I like being very detail oriented with the game, if you haven't figured out. And for some people, they love it, and other people absolutely hate people who play like this, and it's probably really annoying them. But this is how I play, and I enjoy playing it like this. And you know, there's no right or wrong way to play it, and I'm cool with people playing it either way. I've done the cities where you grow everything and you don't place a single building except for like the utilities and major kind of needs like the hospital and stuff. But I don't know, I don't enjoy it as much. You don't really have nearly as much artistic freedom. Actually, you have very little compared to this. Playing like this, I can make an entire city look exactly the way I want it. As you can see here, I've pretty much designed this entire little section of this city. Everything here was placed intentionally by me. Nothing was left to chance, kind of. I mean, some things were just kind of casually placed, but they were still intentional. So, I enjoy playing more like that. It's just, you get a better aesthetic in my opinion, and I'm all about that. I'm an artist, and we're you know, notoriously known for being OCD about details and having an eye for detail. So this is just kind of how I wanted to do it. Here I'm just finishing up this apartment complex, giving it some minor details with adding some trash, just to give it a realistic vibe. This apartment complex here in Google Images, and I noticed it had a little gate out front of it and a wall. So I wanted to just kind of recreate that as well. And, it's pretty good. I'll keep it like that. I'm just fencing off the rest of it, like you usually see. Keep people from coming in and out of the complex too easily. And then in the back here, I decided to place a little extra trash because on the Google Images, there was actually a whole bunch of trash just piling up in the back here. And I thought that it was noticeable enough on Google Images to be seen. I figured I might as well include it myself. So I'm just placing in, you know, little piles of garbage and trash here, a little dumpster. Placing in a few more dumpsters. Just adding those last minute details to really wrap up this apartment complex. Make it good to go. And there you have it. There's the apartment complex. Turned out pretty good. I really love building these multi-building kind of complexes. They look so cool, especially when you kind of scroll over them or fly by them. They just, I don't know, they're aesthetically pleasing to me. They're not, in real life, they're quite ugly in my opinion, but building them in the game and kind of getting them looking realistic in the game is, they've got like a certain appeal to the eye in my mind. Some people might disagree. They might think those are the most ugly things they've ever seen, but I like building them. I think they're pretty cool, at least. And, you know, this is my city, so I'm going to do what I want. And, looking good to go. Yeah, this city's starting to look really nice. Finally coming together, I think. A couple more episodes and it'll look really good. Place a road there. Let's get this neighborhood going. See what we can do here. Oh, that's a pretty pink destroyed building. That'll look nice there. Just kidding, I don't really like it actually. Maybe I'll get rid of that. Yeah, these buildings they kind of fit the motif, but they're a little too dilapidated to look realistic. They're really, that one on the right looks a little more realistic. But yeah, let's see, what kind of building can we place here? What kind of house will look good here in this neighborhood? See, all of these ones, they look cool, but they don't fit at all with the theme of the housing complexes or the housing neighborhoods out here. They just do not fit. So, yeah, see, same thing. It just doesn't work. Okay. You know what, we'll come back to that. Let me place this car real quick, and then I'll go back and deal with that neighborhood. 2 cars makes a little more sense there, since people are actually parking there, you know? Yeah, that looks good. Okay, back to building a fancy schmancy little neighborhood here. We put here, come on. Give me a good house to put there. Maybe this house will work. No. This is always the hardest part, is placing the first house in a neighborhood, because the first house kind of sets the trend for the rest of the neighborhood. So like, if you place a house, whatever house you place first is normally what you're going to get the rest of the neighborhood. You're going to get a similar kind of aesthetic the whole way through. And so that first house is just so important, getting that first one placed in there, because, you know, neighborhoods are normally, you know, at least a couple 10 or 20 houses, you know, there are a couple dozen of them. So that first one you place in it makes all the difference, because it could really set the theme of whether this is going to be a really, you know, middle class or higher class kind of neighborhood, or whether it's going to be a little more lower income, or even just, you know, dilapidated completely, kind of like this one over here, which is not doing too hot, but it fits pretty well in that area. And yeah, trying to get ideas here. What can I place? Okay, I think I know what I want to do. I'm gonna delete these. I'm gonna place one of those. Maybe that guy. That's too repetitive. I don't like that. But I like that house, but it just doesn't work 3 in a row like that. What else can we put? That might work. Yeah, we'll keep that, and we'll start going down this neighborhood here. Build a cul-de-sac here, since you can't go through on this street because there's an apartment complex chilling behind it. Boom, there we go. Fancy little fancy cul-de-sac. Place place some more houses in. And I'm placing all these different houses here, not because I'm going to keep them like that, but because I was trying to get the right color to generate. When you place these houses, they randomly generate what color you're going to get. So I was fighting with it to give me a color that was a little more neutral and not, you know, this bright green or dark blue that I didn't really like. That might look okay. Let's get rid of that house and we'll put another one in a different color. That looks a little better. And then we'll have room for one more house on the end here. There we go. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm liking that now. So let's just finish up this neighborhood real quick. We'll start beautifying it, adding our trees and whatnot, finishing up with a couple extra buildings. You've seen the process here now, so you kind of know what I'm doing. I'm going to speed it up just so you don't have to struggle through me placing each individual tree and building. Oh yeah, this neighborhood's looking nice. Pretty good. I like where this is going. You know what? These people need backyards. Let's put some fences in. Separate their backyards so they're not all running into each other. Just some basic fencing to kind of close off their houses from one another. Now we'll just add those last final touches to it. I think we have a little completed corner of our neighborhood. Turned out pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I build my little neighborhoods here in Palmcaster for Cities Skylines. I just kind of start with a theme building, what building I kind of think will look like the motif I want to continue through the whole neighborhood, and then I just go with it and kind of continue that feeling for the whole neighborhood. Okay, now with that neighborhood done, I think it's time to move on. Let's do something else. Maybe we'll play around with this apartment complex and finish it up. Add the rest of the parking there. I don't know. There's so much else we could do too, though. Maybe we'll start over on this side of the map finally. delete that road there. We'll come in and place the beginning of a little area complex. We haven't built much by this freeway yet, so I'm kind of excited to start over here. I figured it was a nice break away from what we were doing before. We spent a lot of time on that other side of town, and figured it'd be nice. Yeah, we'll put that hotel there. Along the freeway here, there's a lot of hotels, kind of just, you know, 4 or 5 story hotels popped up like that. And that looked pretty good, so I put that there. And figured I'll try out and see, does this look better? No, I'm still liking that other one behind it more. It doesn't look as much like a hotel. So we'll stick with that, I think. Looks pretty good. Maybe this one. No, I don't like it. Where are these houses? I've never even seen those houses before. Huh. I have so many assets in my game. Literally hundreds of different buildings and things to place. It's both a blessing and a curse because it gives you so much freedom to really design your areas just how you want them, because you have probably just the right building for the area, most likely. But at the same time, because you have so many different buildings and assets in the game, you're constantly scrolling through hundreds of assets to find the right one that you want to place. So it's a catch-22. You have the exact building you want somewhere in the game, but you have to kind of go find it, and it takes some time. So here's another house I kind of like. How does this look? Oh. No, I don't like that house. Let's turn it and get a look at it, though. No, doesn't really fit the neighborhood vibe too much. Yeah, no. Huh, that works, though. Actually, what was that? Look at all these buildings we have. We have so many different buildings. See what I'm talking about? Just dozens upon dozens of different houses we could place here. So many choices. But again, I'm just not liking a lot of the ones I'm finding. They're not bad, and they're good assets. And shout out to all the asset makers in this game, by the way. People like King Lino, for example. Shout out to him. Like, a lot of the buildings I'm building in this game and placing, they're assets developed by him. He made them for the game, and he published them on the Steam warehouse. So, you know, shout out to you, man. Good stuff. I love your buildings. And actually, shout out and props to everybody who mods and adds to this game, because without the mods and all the different assets and things added to the game by the people that, you know, put a lot of time and energy into making these buildings and these different mods that change the game's features. Without them doing that, this game would literally be unplayable. I mean, it's just not fun in its original form to me. It's not bad. I played it like in the normal basic vanilla mode for a few days, but I got bored really, really quickly. And again, it's because I'm kind of OCD about detail. I want things to look exactly how I want them to look, and the game just did not give you that opportunity. So thanks to all these people who have modded and added to this game, it went from being a kind of a normal, basic, you know, city building simulator to a game that really it can become a piece of art almost. It's absolutely amazing the amount of functionality and just cool stuff we can do with this game now, thanks to people who have modded it and added to it. So, shout out to everybody who's keeping this game alive by doing that. And, I mean, shout out to the game's creators too. Don't get me wrong, this is a great game. And the concept itself is awesome. It's a really, really cool game. It's just that in its basic, most normal mode, it's not as fun. And shit, I just deleted a building I didn't want to. Okay. Let's deal with that. What building was it? It was, was it this one? No. No. Crap. Ah, here we go. This is it. Let's get you placed there. Actually, hold on. That's a horribly ugly color. I don't like that green roof at all. Let's put this one down. Hopefully you're a good color. There we go. Nice yellow color. Kind of beige almost, actually. Or puke yellow, whatever you want to call it. Whatever. I like it. It looks pretty good there. Let's get it moved in. Perfect. Okay, back to what I was doing before I deleted that house on accident. Finishing up this neighborhood. Let's put a street in here, actually. Another cul-de-sac, just like the other side. Turned out pretty nice, and I think matching is pretty common. It'll look pretty good, I think. Plus, there's a big empty space kind of there, and this is the easiest way to deal with it, is just put a little cul-de-sac in. Which is exactly how the housing tracts out here deal with it, too. They put these in. Whenever there's a big empty space they can't deal with, they just kind of put a cul-de-sac in it in these neighborhoods. So, boom. Realistic, and it solved my problem. Just speed this up here, just finishing up the neighborhood. Nothing too amazing. Adding a few trees and whatnot. Okay, the neighborhood looks good. I'm getting bored of it though, so let's move across the map again. You know what we can do? We can place more trash in this field here. In the these fields between buildings and houses here, you'll find a lot of people illegally dump their garbage and stuff. Unfortunately, it's really sad, and the people that do it obviously shouldn't. And I get it; it's expensive and it costs, you know, some money to drop it off at the dump. But you shouldn't do it, man. I mean, it does this to these fields. It fills them full of piles of junk. But unfortunately, to add to the aesthetic of, you know, the real life aesthetic of the game, I decided to add a couple piles of trash in the field and behind some buildings, just because it's really there in real life. Alright, now that that's done, let's go back to the other side of town here, to our newly built hotel. And let's see what we can do to this corner to make it a little more completed. Give it some more depth. Oh, I know what we can do. We can put a gas station on this corner here. That'll look pretty good. Which one do we want? That one? No, I don't like it. How about the Shell gas station here? Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Oops, we just deleted it, placing this road. My bad. Luckily, we can just replace it. Let's put an entrance on the other side of the gas station here. For people when they kind of come in from the other direction, they can get into the gas station. Oop, and we just deleted it again. We're on a roll right now. Just this gas station can't stay there. It's getting just destroyed every time. Alright, third time's a charm. Hopefully it sticks around this time and doesn't get destroyed by my my road when I place it. Okay. Maybe we could put some parking in here. No, I don't know. Maybe... No. You know what, we'll just concrete it over. We'll just cover it in concrete. Or asphalt or whatever this is. Just like in real life. Just lots of concrete and cement. That's the same thing, isn't it? Either way. This looks a lot better now. Yeah, I'm liking this now. Perfect. Let's turn parking off here so people don't park on these roads like this. There we go. Now, they shouldn't park on the street as much, and they should actually use our parking lots that we're about to put in. How about that? Nice 2-lane parking lot on the side of the hotel there. No, actually, you know what? Let's wrap it around like this. We'll bring it all the way around the building. And then what we'll do is we'll place the parking lot on the outside of that little area. On the outside of the street. Yeah, that looks better. Oh, we gotta turn off our parking again now. Darn it. There we go. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Let's wrap this parking lot all the way around the building. That looks good. Oh wait, let's delete this police station here. I'm gonna move it to the other side of the freeway because I know I don't want it there. And I placed it there originally just because I needed one. But let's actually go and place this slightly smaller one over here for now. And we'll go back to building this corner. That for the road. Some cement center divider. Whoa, look at all those lights. That's far too many traffic lights. Never mind. We don't want that. Okay. We'll go back to the normal four lane avenue. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Oh, now we got a road there again. What is that road? What is that road doing there? Being all roady in the road. Causing problems. Oh, and we've deleted the gas station again. We are on a roll. Okay. Try again. It's the 4th time we've deleted the gas station now. I think if we delete it one more time, it just wasn't meant to be. But no, I like it there actually. I'm gonna keep trying with it because it looks really good. I'm just having a hard time keeping it there for some reason. It wants to keep getting deleted every time I move anything. Place some vegetation here out front of the gas station. A couple bushes, a few trees. I'm going to speed this part up because it's kind of boring, to be honest with you. We'll put that. Yeah, that looks good there. It's just kind of me getting this corner looking right. There we go. Now that looks good, let's finish up this little area next to the hotel here. We'll put in a little shopping mall / strip mall here. Not a big one, but just a small corner one. Put ourselves a Chipotle. Maybe a Pizza Hut. How about that? Or how about a Verizon? Yeah, we'll put in a cell phone company. Maybe a Subway. Get those placed just right along that little road there in the parking lot. There we go. Looks pretty good to me. Got some competition. We'll have an AT&T and a Verizon store down the way from each other. You guys have to fight for our customers. You don't get our Sims cell phone plans for free. You gotta battle it out, just like in real life. Then we'll finish it off with that. Just kidding, I don't like that at all. It's horrible looking. Get rid of it. Get rid of it now. Okay. We'll finish it off with maybe a bank? No. How about a giant grocery store? Or better yet, maybe a Payless, because, you know, No, just kidding. We'll put this here. A nice corner lot to finish off our strip mall. And get our lines matched. There we go. Looking good. Let's speed this up here. Just us finishing up the parking lot, getting our, parking spaces placed. Looking good. Yeah. Fix the concrete there. Get rid of the little empty spaces. We'll leave some of them though, because they'll eventually be planters, I'm thinking. Put some vegetation in them, maybe. Who knows? We'll put this little garbage area here. You might not notice it, but if you ever look in a parking lot, there's always little enclosed areas that have garbage in them. And so I figured I'd place one here too. Just like the real deal, Because you got to put your garbage somewhere, right? It doesn't just go away. There we go. What a trashy parking lot we have now. Looks great. Now I think we'll put in a little planter maybe. That'll look cool. We'll put that in front of our garbage to kind of cover it up, so people driving up to the shopping center won't actually see the garbage too well. Just like they do in real life. A lot of times in real life they'll do this. They'll have like little planters with bushes in them kind of covering these garbage dumping areas, just so that way us, the citizens, won't see the garbage when we're shopping there. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up episode 2 of Palmcaster and Cities Skyline. This corner here came together pretty well. It's looking good. I think our city's finally starting to take some shape. And yeah, we got our hospital in now over here. We got our nice little neighborhoods starting to pop up, our apartment buildings here. Yeah, the whole city's kind of looking pretty good. I think in the next episode we'll work more in other parts of the city now and try and expand out further. So stay tuned for episode 3, and until then, have a good one.
J.